Hi, honey, I sent you the money like you asked. Oh, thanks, Mom. You're really doing me a solid. Is there anything else I can do for you? Are you sure you don't need any more? It's fine for now. I'm sorry about all this. I know you're living off Social Security. I shouldn't be asking for money. Once I get everything settled, I'll pay you back double. Oh, don't worry about little old me. Sure, technically I'm getting Social Security paychecks, but I still have the money your father left when he passed away. Okay, I still feel a little guilty though. I had no idea Claire was going to spend so much of her money. Sorry to cause you the trouble. I said don't worry. If Claire is using that much of your money, don't you think you should sit down and talk with her? This is the second time you've asked me for money. I'm happy to help, but I'm not rich. I know, we actually did talk last month, but she ended up spending over our budget again this month. Money is the root of conflict for many married couples. I know it's a hard thing to talk about, but you have to get it sorted out. It's obviously stressing you out and affecting your life. I know it is. Before we got married, she never did anything like this, but all of a sudden she's really changed. Trust me, I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about solving this. Knowing her, I don't think a stern approach is the best way. I'm not saying she's a bad person or anything. It's just that it seems she's not very responsible with money. If you don't figure out something now, it's only going to get worse. I know. I'm going to sit down with her again and tell her she can keep doing this. I don't know if it'll work, though. This is between you and her. I would love to help, but I think it's best I stay out of this. Unless you think it's a good idea for her to hear it from me. You've already helped by giving us money. You've done more than enough already. Also, I'm not sure if it would be the best idea for you to talk to her anyway. I get the feeling she purposely tries to keep her distance from you. I know, you've mentioned that before. I get the same impression. But you need to think about all your options for how to fix this problem, even if it means I go and talk to her. Like I said, if you don't put a stop to it now, it's only a matter of time before it gets worse. I know. I think part of the reason why she's so distant with you is because both of her parents died when she was young. She probably doesn't want to get close to a parent figure because she doesn't want to be hurt again. That's why she might come off a bit cold sometimes toward you. I know you want to have a good relationship with her, but I think it's better for me to take care of this. I really appreciate your desire to help, though. If you say so, honey. I think it's better not to force it. I trust you'll do what you think is best. Thank you. I'm sorry to get you involved with all of this. I'm just happy to help however I can. No matter how old either of us get, I'm still your mother. I'm flattered you still come to me when you need help. If there's anything else I can do, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you. In return for helping you, I want you to really do everything you can to fix this problem between you two. This is a small crack that can either be repaired or turn into what divides you both. I know. I'm gonna talk to her as soon as I get off work. Hi, Claire. Do you have a minute to talk? Well, isn't this a surprise? You almost never text me. What's up? Nothing in particular. I just wanted to make sure everything is okay. I haven't seen you lately. Is everything all right? Yep, I'm totally fine. I've been taking care of the house and your son, just like always. You actually caught me at a perfect time. I just finished the housework, so I've got nothing to do. That's great. Everything else is going all right? How's everything going between you and Dan? I guess everything is okay. Not bad, not amazing. It's good? Anything else? Anything else you'd like to talk to me about? No. Like I said, everything's fine. Is everything okay with you? I appreciate you being so concerned about us. It's the least I could do. We're family after all, right? Are you sure there's nothing you want to talk about?
Geez, I said no. You're being a little pushy, don't you think? Are you really that worried about us?
Well, actually, Dan talked with me about your money problem. I've been worried about you two since then.
He did? I guess that explains why you were trying to pry so hard. To be honest, we have fought over money in the past. I don't think that's something too crazy, though. Most couples fight about money at some point.
I suppose you're right. It's important to define boundaries for budgeting and spending. I don't want to get myself involved in your issues, but I just want to make sure everything between you two is okay.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. But we're taking care of things just fine on our own. I'm doing my part not to spend as much.
That's great to hear. Because things are different now that you two are married. You can't just spend as much as you want. You really have to be considerate for the other person.
Yeah, I know that. Like I literally just said, I'm trying to be as frugal as possible.
Have you been able to put some money away? Or maybe it's better to think about cutting back on some things.
We're fine. Things are better now, and we're being more careful. You're worrying way too much about this. Everything is fine. We don't need to change anything.
But think about it. Now it seems like you're enjoying yourselves, but what about the future? You'll need money for the future.
Yeah, maybe. You're really advocating on cutting back on our spending, huh?
Yes, exactly. I think that's the best thing for you to do.
I really don't want to do that, though. I don't want to have to resort to eating one meal a day or anything like that.
Ease into it. It doesn't have to be that drastic at first. Maybe go to the store less often. Or get a knack for looking for things on sale instead of buying the first thing you see. Even small changes like that add up.
All right. I'll try if that's what you want.
Sorry for butting in. I'm just trying to help. I know you can do it.
Yep, got it. I'll try to make some changes, so don't worry about us so much. I'm sure you have enough to worry about being on your own. I'm sure it's tiring to worry about us all the time.
Claire, Dan is off from work today, right? I've been trying to get in touch with him, but he hasn't returned my calls. If you're with him, could you get him to call me back?
He's off, but he's not home right now. It's just me at home right now. Is there something you needed?
Is that so? There's something I wanted to talk to him about.
Do you want me to try and text him too? If his phone's blowing up, I'm sure he'll notice.
No need. I'm sure he'll get back to me eventually. Actually, I have something I wanted to talk to you about too. Is it okay to keep texting, or would you prefer I come over?
Texting is fine. I wouldn't want to make you come all the way over here. What's up?
I'm sorry to come to you with this all of a sudden, but I think it's time I stopped giving you money. I just sent over the money for this month. Please don't expect any more money after this.
What? Money? What are you talking about? What do you mean, stop giving us money? I'm really confused. What are you talking about?
What? Is that some sort of joke? Dan hasn't told you?
No, he hasn't said anything to me. I've absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You've been giving us money?
Hang on a second. Who's been handling your money? Dan?
No, I handle the finances. I hang on to the ATM card and credit cards. Dan usually just carries cash. I had no idea you were sending us money.
You're not playing dumb, are you? I thought you were having trouble controlling your spending. That's what Dan told me, and then he asked for money.
Are you serious? He really said that? He said I couldn't control my spending? I can't believe this.
I'm the one who can't believe what you're saying. Don't try and deny it. Dan's come to me multiple times to ask for advice. He said you burned through money, and he asked me to help you two out because you were too stubborn to reason with.
Calm down. I understand if you're angry, but let's both keep our cool. Obviously, there's been a huge lapse in communication. I have no idea why Dan would say any of that. First of all, there's no issue with how I spend money.
What? Explain yourself.
If anything, Dan is the one who's been spending all our money. I haven't bought anything for myself in months. I've been really careful with how I spend money because he's the one who's got a spending problem.
He does? I had no idea about this.
You don't? I thought we just talked about this a little while ago.
No, we didn't. Or did we?
Yeah, we did. Remember how I told you he and I've been fighting about money lately? I thought you knew about it already.
I just assumed it was you using too much money. I had no reason to think otherwise. He told me he was going to talk with you about your spending issues. I thought that's what you meant. But now you're saying it wasn't about that?
No, it wasn't. Of course, he never said anything to me about getting money from you, but he never brought up anything about me spending too much. This is all too much to take in at once. Now that I think about it, was your whole speech about cutting back because Dan told you I was too loose with our money?
Yes, it was. I was wondering why you seemed so confused.
I thought you were really just pushing us to save money for when we have kids in the future. I actually agreed with what you were saying. Having a kid in this country is way more expensive than it should be. I've been trying hard to save as much money as I can lately.
Really? Forgive my confusion about all of this. I had no idea.
Neither did I. I'm not sure what to make of it all.
I think we both need to talk with Dan about what's really going on. I think maybe it will be a good idea to try and get in touch with him.
I could, but he might just ignore my texts or calls. He's been acting weird lately. He never texts me back when he goes out.
Don't you ask him where he's going when he leaves the house? Why don't you go over and talk in person?
Yeah, that's the thing. He never says anything before he goes out. If he's not returning any of your calls either, it makes me a little worried. I feel like I haven't even said 2 words to him lately. I never see him anymore. It feels like I'm living in this house alone.
Claire, why don't you come over here for the afternoon?
Why?
I think it'd be better if we just go over everything in more detail. It seems like there's still some confusion about what's going on, so let's get on the same page. I want to understand the situation so we can figure out what to do next. Plus, I'll fix us a nice lunch.
I think that's a good idea. Are you sure it's not too much of a hassle for you?
No problem at all. Is there a reason you can't come, or maybe you don't want to have lunch with me?
No, that's not it at all. It's just, I know you aren't very fond of me.
What? That's not true at all. What would make you think that?
That's just what Dan told me. He said that's why you never text me or why I shouldn't try and text you.
He really said that. Claire, that's not how I feel about you at all. If anything, I've wanted to get closer with you.
Really?
Yes. I think of you as my own daughter. Of course I want to have a good relationship with you.
I'm so happy to hear that. I thought for sure you hated me.
Now I definitely think we need to sit down and have a long talk. There's probably more things we've been misunderstanding about each other. I'm very curious about what Dan's been spending so much money on. What do you say?
Sounds great. I agree. Let's get on the same page about everything. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Hey Mom, it's Claire with you. When I got home this morning, she wasn't there. I can't get a hold of her either.
Yes, she's here. We had lunch and dinner together yesterday. She stayed the night.
That's what I thought. I asked her friends, but no one knew where she was. I figured if she wasn't with her friends, she had to be with you.
You guessed right. Claire was exhausted. She's actually still sleeping. We talked all day and all night.
Oh yeah? When did you two become best friends? I always thought there was a distance between you guys.
Not at all. I've always wanted to get closer with Claire. Haven't I always said that?
Yeah, you have, but I thought Claire was the one preventing that from happening. That's why I'm a little surprised you two are getting along so well. I'm a little surprised too, to be honest. I never imagined we'd hit it off like this. I guess it helped that we had a lot in common. Oh yeah? What do you have in common? You like the same Netflix shows or something? Or maybe you use the same makeup? Nope, nothing like that. We actually talked mostly about you. You did? That makes me a little nervous. You didn't tell her anything weird about when I was a kid, did you? I hope she didn't tell you anything embarrassing about me. I was afraid this day would come. Well, we talked about a bunch of different things. There was a lot we were misunderstanding about one another. Now we understand things very clearly. Misunderstanding? Like what? Oh, there was a lot. For example, how you said Claire wasn't fond of me and how you told her I didn't like her either. It turns out neither of us felt that way about the other. I don't think that's a misunderstanding. I always got the impression you both didn't like each other. That's what you wanted us to think, right? You wanted us to hate each other, so you lied to both of us. I didn't lie about anything. What are you talking about? Why would I lie about that? There's nothing I would gain from lying to either of you. I beg to differ. If Claire and I constantly talked with one another, it would cause problems for you, wouldn't it? We would have figured out what you were doing right away if we talked often. What are you saying? You're being really weird. Why are you trying to make it seem like I was hiding something? Are you mad? No, I'm not mad, just shocked at your behavior. If only I'd known what you were spending the money I sent you on. What do you mean? I've been using that money to support us. Yeah, maybe I was wrong for coming to you to try and fix a problem Claire started, but you agreed to help, didn't you? Yes, I did. I was happy to help since I was under the impression you were actually using it to support you and your wife. I never imagined you'd be taking it to the strip club and wasting it all in one night. Were those girls happy to get your money? Did you buy expensive liquor while you were there like a hotshot? Did she tell you that? Do you actually believe that's what I'm doing? Why wouldn't I? Do you think she's a liar? This is exactly what I was afraid of. I've never told you this about her because I didn't want you to be worried. But she's a pathological liar. She'll say anything that fits her narrative. Now you've heard it for yourself. Don't believe anything she says. The only thing I can't believe is the way you talk about your wife. Don't you have a conscience? If you really thought that about her, why would you get married in the first place? Of course I love her, but everyone has something they don't like about their spouse. What I don't like about her is her tendency to tell ridiculous lies. Are you sure she's the liar? Or maybe it's my eyes who lied to me. What do you mean? I saw the debt you put the both of you in since you got married. You may claim Claire's a liar, but she sure is good at keeping records. She's been keeping an Excel spreadsheet of all your finances since you two started sharing a bank account. She has folders full of receipts too, but I couldn't seem to find where my money was going. Was it because of the separate bank account you kept for your strip club adventures? Okay, I admit that was wrong. To be honest, we've talked about getting a divorce because of our financial trouble. Me going to a strip club was a way to relieve stress. Stress? The only stress between you two was the stress you were making from spending all your money. And she told me all about you two talking about getting a divorce. It was because you maxed out your credit cards at the strip club. And she was the one who threatened divorce. She made you promise never to go to the strip club again. Which is why you made a separate account and put the money I was giving you into it. You're siding with her over your own son? Yeah, I was wrong for putting us in debt, but that was the past. Now she's the one who's spending all our money, not me. Of course I want to side with my son. That's what I thought. Who knows what other things she lied to you about? I looked into you just to be sure I was getting the facts straight. What? You did?
Yes, with the help of Claire, of course. We confirmed things with your boss and your coworkers.
Why would you do that? Even if you are my mother, that's crossing the line.
I think it's fair, considering how you were using my money. I asked around about you. Your coworkers said you were really in high spirits lately. I asked them if you were the type to go to a strip club. They told me you always try and get them to go with you.
OMG. What's the problem? I'm stressed from work and life at home. I go crazy if I don't blow off steam.
Stressed because you were running out of money? Or am I misunderstanding things again? Maybe you're stressed because I'm cutting you off?
I can't believe this is happening. I really did intend on using that money to support the two of us.
Trying to make excuses is a waste of time. You're not getting another penny out of me. By the way, we stopped by your house yesterday to use your printer. We had to print out divorce papers.
No way. I'm sorry, I was wrong. How could you be on our side? You're really okay with us getting a divorce?
Unfortunately, yes, I am. All you need to do is sign. Claire already filled everything out and signed.
Don't make this harder than it needs to be. She's okay with this? I bet you made her do it.
You've betrayed her twice already. I didn't have to force her to do anything.
I have a solution. I'll pay back all the money I borrowed from you. In return, you gotta convince Claire that getting a divorce isn't the right thing to do.
Don't act like you're doing me a favor by paying me back the money you took from me. Any decent human would pay their mother back. If you don't, I'll have no choice but to explore my legal options to get it back by force. Don't think you're gonna get out of this without paying for what you've done, literally and figuratively.
So, you ruined our marriage and now you're threatening to sue me? And you're threatening me like I'm the bad guy? How could a parent be so cruel to their child?
You're right. So I'm disowning you. I no longer consider you my son.
Mom, how could you? You can abandon your own son that easily.
You should be thanking your wife. She thinks disowning you is a bit much.
She does?
You did stab her in the back twice, as she has no intention of staying in a marriage with you, but she thinks me disowning you is going too far. She knows that if I cut ties with you, then you won't have anyone else to support you.
So, she still cares about me.
That's how loving and caring she is, and yet you abused her trust and put her in debt. And that's exactly why I'm never going to forgive you. She loved you so much and you still treated her badly. Although she does have a point, I'm done giving you handouts. From now on, you're on your own.
But how am I going to survive? What am I going to do?
It's simple, really. First, you need to take responsibility for what you've done. You were out having the time of your life and burning money while Claire was at home stressing and crying over what you were doing. It's time to pay for what you've done. I was on Claire's side throughout the whole divorce process. After a long, drawn-out hearing, they finalized their divorce. Unfortunately, Claire had nowhere to go after they separated. Her parents passed away a long time ago, and she didn't want to rush into finding an apartment. We decided it would be best for her to live with me for the time being, and we're making up for all the lost time from having so many misunderstandings. Now we're as close as can be. There are definitely no more misunderstandings between us. Of course, Dan has been paying Claire alimony from the divorce. Not only that, Claire's lawyer made him sign an agreement to pay back every dollar he took from me. My final act of love for him as a parent was not suing him to get back the money. I despise my son now, but I still would have felt bad dragging him through another legal battle on top of his divorce. I hope it turns out I made the right choice. Despite everything that happened and how he abused our trust, Dan is still my son. I wish things could have been different, and I could have still thought of him as the cute boy I held when he was younger. I wanted to cut off all contact with him, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
I still stop by his house every once in a while to thank him for repaying me, even though he doesn't have any other choice. Plus, I want to make sure he's taking steps to turn his life around. Let this be a lesson to everyone. Never take a mother's love for granted.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.